Hi everyone, welcome to Get Your Play Online. My name is Michelle and today for science we are going to be making a balloon powered boat. This is my boat that I made earlier and you can't tell now, but let me go ahead and blow it up. We are going to be racing a couple of boats that we make today. And this is what they look like. Let me go ahead and show you what you're going to need for this activity today. So first you're going to need some recycled food containers. I think the easiest thing to work with is going to either be a milk carton like this, a cardboard milk carton, or a little plastic container like this. This is from a carton of tofu. So either one of these would be great, or maybe even one of those like little takeout boxes that you get when you order takeout. They come with the plastic rectangle that looks similar to this. That might work as well. This is what I have today. You're also going to need balloons, plastic drinking straws, a pair of scissors, and an elastic, or however many elastics you need is dependent on how many that you're making. And you're going to need a crafting knife. So definitely ask mom or dad or an adult around for help with using one of these. I have this X-Acto knife here. It's very sharp and you should never use it by yourself. So ask an adult for help and where to find this so that they can help you with this activity. And then I also have some sticky tack or mounting tack here. And optional, I have some stickers for decoration. You may or may not need some tape, but I have some on hand just in case I need to repair my boat. This one kind of tore apart, so I just used some tape to fix it up. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get started on building our boats. So I'm going to actually take the elastic off of my model that I made earlier so that I can use it on one of the ones we're going to make together. So let's start with the milk carton. If you have a cardboard or paper milk carton like this, you're going to need to cut the top of this off so that you're just kind of left with something like this. So grab a pair of scissors and definitely ask an adult for help when you're using these big scissors. If you can't use these by yourself, it's okay to ask an adult for help when doing this part. So what we need to do first is take off the top. So I'm going to start here and just start cutting. And it might be easier to even tear this part at the top and then cut it out neatly later. Okay, so definitely you're going to need an adult's help for that part. I managed to get this open and now I'm going to cut the very top part off. So this is what I have so far. I'm almost done cutting it. I'm almost cutting it in half, but you do want one side that's going to be a little bit thicker than the other. So now I'm just cutting all the way across here at the bottom. All the way. There it is. Okay, so here is my shell for my boat. Of course, if you're using one of these guys, you're not going to need to do all that. So we have two little shells for our boats that are ready to go. So the next step is to cut a tiny little hole in one side of the back of our boat. So for this, you're definitely going to need a crafting knife. And like I said, don't ever use this by yourself. You should always ask an adult for help whenever your project or your activity needs a crafting knife. If they want to watch you do it, then that's great. If you're the adult that you ask for help feels like they need to do it, that's okay too. You can watch and tell them where you want to make the hole on your boat. So when we make the hole in our boat, we don't want it too high up. We want it down a little bit past the middle, like below the middle of where the middle is on this part of your boat. It's going to need to go down a little bit further so that the straw can pop through. So my hole is going to go about here on this container. So let me show how I'm cutting it out. And you don't want to make the hole too big. That's why we're using this small crafting knife. We just want to make the hole barely big enough for our straw to fit through. So I kind of start cutting in a V shape, and I'm just poking it in a V shape so that I can get my knife in there a little bit further and further. And now I'm cutting out kind of like a square shape now that my knife can get in there. Okay, here is what I have so far. It's just a tiny hole right now. You can probably barely even see it on camera. That's okay. So now that my knife can fit in there, I'm going to press it really nice and gently, and I'm going to twist it around so that it makes a nice little circle. And then I'm going to do that from the inside as well. Okay, so there is a perfect size hole for a straw to pop through. Here is what I have so far. So I'm just gonna try it to see if the hole is big enough yet. And my straw is not coming through. I think I need to make my hole just a tiny bit bigger, but not too much. So I'm gonna put my knife, my crafting knife, back in and twist like I was doing earlier to try and carve out more of the plastic. So let's see if the straw fits now. Perfect, my straw fits through my hole. So this one is ready. I'm gonna set this carton aside, and now I'm going to work on my milk carton. The milk carton is just a little bit easier because it's made of cardboard and paper. So on my milk carton, my straw hole is gonna go about here. Like I said, you don't want it too high up, but you don't want it like at the very bottom. Somewhere right below the middle. So I'm going to start cutting right here. And like I did with my plastic carton, I'm just cutting in kind of like a square shape. So I can pop that out and then fit my crafting knife through. And then I'm twisting to carve out a hole for my straw. And there's my hole. And let's see if the straw fits. Yep, the straw fits. Great. So now we need to cut our straws. So grab your scissors. And you don't want your straws to be too long. So I'm going to kind of stick my straw in here and then measure how long I think it needs to be. So the straw should come out about 2 inches, no more than 2 inches off the back of your boat. any more than that and it would probably be too long. So there is my straw in there, and I'm just going to trim the straw. I'm going to cut it about in half. So there's one straw. Let's measure on this one. Okay, so again on this one, we want to cut it so that the straw comes out no more than 2 inches. So about right here. Now our straws are ready to be attached to the balloons. So we're gonna take one balloon and stick it on the end of a straw. And then we're going to take an elastic and just kind of tie it around and keep going until your elastic rubber band is tight on your straw. You don't want it too tight, because if your elastic is too tight on your straw, then air can't escape. And we definitely want the air to be coming out. So tighten your elastic. And then you're probably going to want to test that and make sure that air can pass through by blowing. Perfect. So when you blow your balloon up, you want your elastic tight enough so that no air escapes out of the bottom of the balloon, but you want it loose enough to where the straw is not bent or creased, because you want the air to be able to pass in and out of the straw. So let's do that to our second balloon. Where's my elastic go? There it is. So I'm just doing the same thing. I'm tightening my elastic around and around and around. Like this. See how I still have lots of room in my rubber band? I need to pass it around one more time. And maybe even once more, just to make sure it's tight enough, but not too tight. And I'm using a hair tie because I didn't have any like little rubber bands. But if you have some rubber bands that are maybe like leftover from your vegetables from the grocery store, or maybe just some crafting rubber bands that are nice and thin, those would work so much better than a hair tie. But if a hair tie is all that you have, that's okay too. So I'm just making sure it's not too tight. I think this one might be too tight. So I'm gonna undo it once. And then I'm gonna test out and make sure my balloon can blow up. Okay, so this one is tricky because it's not tight enough. So I'm gonna pass it through once more. Okay. My mom actually just brought me some recycled rubber bands that she kept from our groceries this week. I actually made my hair tie work. Thank you, Mom. My hair tie does work. I got it just tight enough. It's nice and perfect. So you can use a hair tie, but if you have any of these rubber bands laying around, they're probably going to be a lot easier to work with than a thick hair tie, but that's okay. Just use whatever you have, right? So we're almost ready to test out our boats. The last thing that we need to do to build our boats is to put the straws in through the holes. And then we're going to use our Ticky Tack to secure the straw to the hole, because if you can see here, it's kind of loose. It's not staying in nice and tight. We want to fix that. So I'm just taking a really small amount of Ticky Tack. You can find this at your local crafting store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, maybe even Walmart. But sometimes it's called like a mounting putty. It's basically just a little sticky putty that you can use for crafting as well. So I am sticking a little bit of this putty on the outside of my straw to secure it in place. And if you can, we're going to try and angle our straw down. We'd rather our straw is pointing down than up, right? We want our straw pointing down because our boat is going to be floating in the water, and we want the air to be pointing at the water so that our boat propels forward. So if you can, with your putty, kind of press it around the straw in a way that points the straw downward. See, like this, I've kind of made a little like triangle right here that's pressing down on my straw, and it's coming out at an angle, and that's perfect. So I'm going to take a tiny piece and then just secure it on the bottom. And to get yours angled like mine, you can put a blob of putty up here and then kind of press it down with your thumb to get that downward angle. So let's double check before we get outside and make sure that our balloon blows up. Perfect. Okay, this one's ready to go. Let's grab our plastic container. Same thing with this one. We're gonna want it to angle down, not up. So I'm taking a bit of putty, place it on the top of the straw here. Like this. Place the blob right above the straw and then press it downward to give it that angle. And then to totally secure it, place one more tiny bit of putty below the straw. Okay, let's test it out, make sure it blows up. Great! Okay, I'm just making sure that this putty is gonna stay in place when I blow it up. All right, here's our two boats, and here's the optional part. You can choose to decorate your boats any way you like. I've got some stickers here. If you have some markers, I think the markers would look really cute on the inside of this paper cardboard milk carton. But I don't think the markers will stay on the plastic unless you use like a Sharpie or something. So I'm using these really cute stickers I have, and I'm just going to place some on my boat to give it some cute decorations. You can decorate your boat any way you want. If you have any kind of stickers, that would be the easiest way to decorate, I think. If you want to ask an adult if you can use some Sharpies on it, that would be super cute too. So here's my first boat. And here comes the stickers for my second boat. Okay, here's the decorations on my second boat. I love it. Okay, so now we're ready to take our boats outside or to your bathtub, wherever you have access to like a larger body of water. It could really be in your bathtub, or it could be in a baby pool outside, or if you have a pool in your backyard, or any kind of large closed in area of water. That's where we can test out our boats. So I'm gonna take you guys with me out to my backyard so we can race these boats in my pool. Thank you. Okay, we are outside. It is so hot where I live, so hopefully it's not too hot where you guys are and you can do this comfortably outside. So there's a good shot of my pool. We're gonna be racing these two boats. And my friend is gonna help me with his boats. Okay, so we're just going to blow on the straw and blow up the balloon inside. And then you have to hold on to the end of this straw so no air escapes until you're ready. Okay, got your boat? Place it in the water and go! Whee! That was so much fun. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Okay, I will get the boats from the water. And maybe we can move the camera closer. Let me see if there's a good view of the water. There. Okay, perfect. So let's blow up our boats. Wait, make sure there's no water in it. Uh-oh. Here's mine. Ready, set, go! Oh, I think yours won. Wow, that was so much fun. If it weren't so hot out, we could be doing that over and over and keep racing our boats. But it is so hot outside. It's like 100 degrees, so we're going to head inside to stay safe. I hope you guys had lots of fun playing with me today. If you make these boats, definitely take a picture and post it in the comments so I can see your awesome boat creations. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye!